It's a special day today. It's the big ceremony. Do you want to know why? We have a special guest with us. The belle of the ball. It's a bell pepper. Princess Pepper. Or Pepper Princess. One of the two. It's a royal guest. I made a little crown. Because it's the belle of the ball. She's the belle of the ball. Hi. I'm doing it again. I'm having fun recording these. But today's a little special as well. Because I am exhausted. I was doing work all day. So, like, this is the latest I've started one of these. I mean, the options of, like, this is my third one, so it's not really that special. But it's the belle of the ball, eh? Stop, stay on! I can't get the crown to stay. I was gonna tape it as like a circle, but I could not find my spool of scotch tape. I spent like a minute looking for it, and then I gave up. It's the belle. She's the belle of the ball. Green bell pepper. The bell the belle of the ball. I'm dressed for the occasion. My crown is tilting. Belle of the ball. But we're with today, Our Highness, the belle of... Okay, I'm gonna shut up. Okay. Hi, guys. So, we're gonna be doing our silly little video, our hour-long yap, but this time we have a special guest. It's the bell pepper. So, I gotta start this off like I do the other ones, and tell you how I acquired the belle of the ball, Princess Pepper. So I stopped in that shop thing I rambled about yesterday. Not yesterday. I won't say yesterday in case you're watching these in not chronological order when they're coming out. You could be binging them all at once. You. Yeah, I'm talking to you. But, so I talked about in the onion video where I bought the onion at my school little shop that we have. So I went there today because I wanted to get a tomato. Now you notice that I have the belle of the ball. I don't have tomato because they had a bell pepper and a tomato, so I bought both. And they were only 99 cents. What a steal. That's almost $1, but not that much. That's how much she cost for me to have the belle of the ball. That's her, by the way. No! Sorry, this is gonna happen a lot. She might lose her crown. Things might get crazy. She might go bust it down crazy style that she has to take off the crown. Okay, she's taking off the crown. That lasted a minute. I'm keeping mine on, though. I am the assistant to the belle of the ball. I'm her assistant. Yeah, that's me. Why is my... Sorry. I had to fix that. But I was stopping by the little shop, like I said, and they had a bell pepper. So, obviously, I bought bell pepper. Look at the little face. Now, she is, like... I don't think I've seen a bell pepper this, like, squished down in a while. Because usually they're, like, taller. But she's stumpy. I did look out of all of the bell peppers to try to find the funniest one. And this was her. She's the funniest one. You can see how she's got a little indent on this side. And there's also kind of one on this side, but it's not as strong. On the other side, there's, like, not really at all. And this side, her back, there's a bigger indent.
So if you look at her from straight on, she's got a big indent where her face is and a big indent where her back is. So it's kind of like two sides. She is has like four major like lobes area. This is we're going on our general overview scan of Miss Bell Pepper. But we already talked about how she's short and spout. And we have her stem right here. Her nice little stem. I'll give you a closer look. Look at the stem. And we got her little where they meet at the bottom, which look at that. Yeah, bell pepper. Bell pepper, everyone. Bell pepper. Now, even though she's rather small, I don't know why bell peppers are called bell peppers. I thought they would look like more of a bell, but they don't. Because this is like going back to when I first heard the name bell pepper, like when I was like probably like 8. I don't know, maybe younger. I don't know when I first heard of a bell pepper. Probably younger. I think that children know what peppers are. I think it would be hard not to. Like it's probably in those books, those baby books that like have like one word, like oh, there's like a picture and a word, and it's like teaches you how to like know things. And it's like oh, there's a dog because it's a picture of a dog and it says dog, and then it's a dog. But there's probably one for like all the fruits and vegetables that says pepper. Probably doesn't say bell pepper, but it says pepper. It might also say bell pepper. Pepper. Princess Pepper! Oh! But Princess Pepper, she is the belle of the ball. The belle of the ball. That's belle of the ball Pepper. Okay, we can't divulge into just repeating stuff this early. Okay, so she is a green bell pepper. Now, I'm sure y'all know that bell peppers come in all different varieties. You have the red ones, the green ones. I feel like the green ones are more... The red and green are more common. Like, I feel like when I see a bell pepper, in my head, I picture, like, red, green, orange. There's also orange ones, but I feel like they're not as common as this green bell pepper. I feel like green is the most common one. I wonder why they're different colors. Is there a yellow? I think there's a yellow bell pepper. I feel like I've seen one. We should invent... I don't know how we do this, but the gene that controls their color, we should, modify that so we can get a blue pepper and a purple pepper. So we can position the peppers in a nice rainbow, because that would look cool, because it's a bunch of colors. We need more colors of bell peppers. I feel like we should work on that more. It's not like there's more better priorities than this stupid little pepper. You're not stupid. Yeah. She's not stupid. She is the belle of the ball, which means she's a genius. PhD. She has a PhD in peppers because she is the greatest pepper. In the ball, she's the only green pepper, and the other peppers, there's different types of peppers. There's chili peppers, jalapenos. All I know is the really spicy ones, like ghost pepper. That's there's more peppers. I don't know all the peppers. I said chili already. There's the chili pepper, but from Plants vs. Zombies. So it makes a line of fire to eat up all the zombies, and it gets rid of the ice from the zombonis. That's what that one does. But we have bell pepper. I think there's in the second Plants vs. Zombies, there's a one that's called a pepper pult. Yeah. I haven't really played the second one that much because there was too much microtransactions for my liking. But the first one's nice. I have the first one on my DS. It's really cool. I bought it specifically because it's like Plants vs Zombies on the DS. It's such a vibe. Playing it is so much more fun than like on a phone. I love the DS. You know, I have my DS. Like I have it right. My DS. Because you never know. I grew up playing the DS. And it is amazing. I wish there was a bell pepper one on the original, because there's a cabbage pult and there's also a kernel pult. So we have corn. We got that corn and the cabbage representation in pults, but the pepper pult doesn't get added to the stupid second game, which isn't on the DS. Their second game is on the App Store, where you can spend all your money to get plants. Even though the fun of it is just, my favorite part about that game is not playing it. It's the almanac, because they write funny little things. And they make references to Peggle, because, it's the same company that makes the game. And in the almanac, I think they mention Bjorn. No, they don't mention Bjorn. Bjorn is buried underground in the skeleton when you're swiping up the screen. But there's also in the pumpkins little description, it mentions that their cousin is the pumpkin from Peggle that I don't remember the name of. But I love bell peppers. My pepper life started recently, like 2-3 years. Actually, not. I think it was longer. Like 4, 5. How old am I? I'm 20. So like, I don't know when I started eating peppers, but I was talking about in the onion video how I like foods that have like really prominent flavors. Um, so if they have a strong enough flavor, I like it. But when I was a kid, I was scared to try new things because I have bad memories associated with a Brussels sprout that kind of like messed up vegetables for me. That it's just like I can't really see them. I couldn't really see them the same, and I got scared every time I had to eat them. Because there was this one time I had Brussels sprouts where I really did not want to eat them. The problem wasn't like them as a vegetable. It was how they were prepared, because they were hard as a rock and they were barely flavored and they weren't good. And the villains who made me eat it, they were like, "You're not leaving the table until you finish those Brussels sprouts." And I was adamantly opposed to the Brussels sprouts. And I eventually did end up trying them, and I swallowed them, but I was so disgusted with the horrible texture, horrible consistency. They weren't cooked. They weren't good pepper. They weren't good Brussels sprouts. They were bad Brussels sprouts. Did not like. Me no likey. So I threw up. I threw them up on the ground. Oh, I guess the floor. The ground's outside, the floor's inside. Because I really did not like these Brussels sprouts. You will never see a Brussels sprout on this channel. They are evil and I hate them. I can never eat them because of this bad memory associated with Brussels sprouts. So I also kind of lumped in peppers in that. I don't know why. I feel like that's also a vegetable that I wasn't prepared well, but I like peppers. Peppers are really yummy. Like, I could be making this up because I don't remember. It could be a different person, but I have a friend who doesn't like green bell peppers specifically, I think. Yeah, it might be other bell peppers in total, but I know he doesn't like bell peppers. But I fuck with bell peppers, especially Princess Pepper, who's the belle of the ball. That's the joke. That's why, ever since Orange Daughter, we have to do a joke with these. Like everybody I invite onto the channel, like Funny Onion, now like Orange Daughter, Funny Onion, now Princess Pepper. They all have to have a joke about them. Daughter was Chica. She was the first, so that doesn't count because I was new to this thing. Funny Onion, juxtaposition, the fact that when you cut onions you cry, but this time when you cut her, she laughed. But the belle of the ball
Eh? It's such a bad pun. And it's gonna be the whole video. It's just gonna be the belle of the ball for the whole video, because that's what she is. She's the belle of the ball. The belle. So dumb. But I feel like we haven't really talked too much. I went on too many tangents last time, and I'm already starting to do the tangents now. So I feel like we have to describe Princess better. So we already described the way she looks. But she has like a little weird thingy on her stem. I don't. What are pepper plants? They're not trees. You don't pick them from a tree. Okay, POV. My hand is a pepper plant. I think they're like kind of like bush-like. Not bush-like. Like sprout, not sprouts. You know a tomato? You know a tomato plant. I imagine a tomato plant how I imagine peppers, but instead of tomatoes on the plant, it's peppers. And I imagine I'm like, ooh, why don't you pick little me? Because I'm the bill of the ball. I'll make your whatever you use to cook me, it'll be so yummy. Ooh, I'm belle of the ball. That's what she says. That's what she sounds like. Well, damn it, I have a bit of a southern draw. She has a bit of a southern draw. But I'm not really good at accents. I can only do 2 half good ones, and that's one of them. By accents, I mean silly voices. I like silly voices. Silly voices are very fun. I try to do as many silly voices as possible. But something else about the Arbel of the ball, there is this little spot right here. You can't really tell. Actually, you might. But it's like, it's a lot squishier and weaker than the other ones. But here's something special about bell peppers that I haven't really talked about. They are kind of like mini pumpkins. Because it's not like, this is our first time we've had something on the channel that is hollow. Because like when you like cut her open, there's like a bunch of empty space in here. Kind of like a pumpkin if it didn't have, if after you like degut it. So we have our, because like inside are seeds, which I heard that bell peppers are spicy somehow. I mean, I guess. Yeah. You can still eat them. They're not that spicy. I think that's what my friend... What? Okay. So, my friend had somebody over, like, last semester. And she helped me learn how to cook and how to actually cut things properly with, like, a knife. And one of the things that we had to cut was bell peppers. And she taught me how to cut them properly and told me about, like, de-seeding them. And she was the one that mentioned, like, oh, that's what you gotta do. You gotta take out the seeds or they'll be too spicy. But I don't know if they're actually spicy. I don't remember the last time I ate seeds in a bell pepper. But I could just take a bite out of her. Because, like, well, here's the thing. I did buy the bell pepper because I wanted to use it in the rice I was talking about last video. But I am going to have to cut off her face. That's dark. I'm going to have to, because I can't eat the part that I drew on. Which is why I tried to draw it in the most, condense it. Because I'm just going to, like, shave her face off and then use the rest of the pepper. Now that I say it, I probably should have done it in the squishy spot that I don't really like. Right? That would have made more sense. But no, we have it here. Belle of the ball. She is... Here's her little crown. I can put it back on for a bit. This is why... It would have been so much... I'm putting on the crown, by the way, which is why she's not in frame. It would have been so much better if I did find my tape. Because then I'd be able to tape it up so it wouldn't unspool. It wouldn't come apart on her head. And then I would just like... Yeah, there we go. She's the belle of the ball. She's a princess. Princess Pepper. She's only called Princess Pepper because of the alliteration. That's the only reason. Okay, but if she is called Princess Pepper, what do you think the Pepper monarchy looks like? Because she obviously has to have... Because if she's the princess, that means she has parents who are alive that are in power still. Because if not, she'd just be Queen Pepper. So I imagine that her parents are also peppers. They're probably... like... red... no. They are... There's a blue pepper and a yellow pepper, which are her parents.
Because primary colors, blue and yellow, make green. Because she is green. She's a green pepper. So that means there is canonically a blue pepper in the produce fruit cinematic universe. I like to imagine that every creature, every friend I have on the channel from henceforth and prior, they all exist in the same universe. There's like a pepper. So in this kingdom, she is the princess, and Funny Onion could be like a jester. You know, I like jesters. I heard this. I keep hearing people use the term jester maxing. I'm pretty sure it means that somebody, like, they act silly and like a fool. So somebody will like humana humana, I think, and I'm pretty sure that's what jester maxing refers to, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm sorry for like the low energy on this one because it is 9:30 at night, and I did kind of burn myself out today by doing assignments because I would have loved to start the Pepper video sooner because she's the belle of the ball. She deserves all the time in the. She's taking off the crown again. She deserves all the time in the world. She should have been here at like 7, and I should have been like, hello, hello, oh my goodness, I have so much energy, wahoo, yippee! But I don't. Because I'm eepy, because my brain was working since, like, for the past 13 hours. Because I had to get up I didn't have to get up. I got up at 5 in the morning. That's more than, I just always wake up at 5 in the morning. Like, it's my body makes me. I don't have a choice. Because I am, like, new lore. I think I have insomnia. I don't have it confirmed by anybody. But the most I sleep in a night is 4 hours, which isn't good. I don't know how I function, but I do. But I woke up at 5 a.m. this morning because I had to get an early start on what kept me in hell all today. Because, you know, I mentioned this in a couple past videos, how I'm a, student, and it's a lot of, I'm a STEM major, biology, and then gonna go into entomology. I already explained that. But one of my classes, Orgo, how lovely, we had a lab report that's due on Monday. Everybody else's, because it's due the day of your lab, and since my lab was on a Monday, mine's due on Monday. But it's probably a blessing in disguise, because I have so much shit to do next week. But because of this lab report, I didn't start this video sooner, which is why it's relevant. So this is why this is a relevant tangent. Because lab reports, they're a lot of writing, and I am not the best writer. I can do, like, calculations easy. That's my bread and butter. But I can't do writing, because, like, the introductions, they always take me the most, like, the longest time, because it's just, like, write paragraphs on stuff you have to research for sources, and you have to write, and write, and write, and it's evil. It drives me insane. And then, like, this is the most evil lab report I've ever had, because, like, usually it's, like, one reaction. This one was multi-step synthesis. So we had to do 3 reactions, which means 3 separate yields, which also means 3 sets of calculations, which means there's 3 sections, there's 3 paragraphs in the discussion page about the 3 different the products. There's 3 paragraphs. And then we have to draw the mechanisms. So I had to draw 3 mechanisms. And I also had to take 3 IR spectrums and analyze all 3. You get the point. I had to do 3 times as much work than I usually do. And in the introduction, you have to explain the mechanisms. So I had to do that for all 3. That was 4 fingers. 3. Which, that took me forever. And there was also, I did stop to buy the pepper, obviously, in the middle of doing this. because I have Pepper. I have Pepper Princess. But I had a point. But I also, the reason why it took me as long as it did is because in this process, for me, it's laundry day. And little fun fact about the dorm I'm in. There is not a washing machine or a dryer in this building. I have to walk like 6 minutes across, like over there in campus, to get to a different dormitory to use their washing machines. So it's really inconvenient because I have to walk there, put my stuff in the wash, set a timer on my phone, then walk back, and then I lock in for 15 minutes. And since the washing machine only takes like 25 minutes, and then I have to walk back over. Oops. Don't worry, I'll talk about the crown soon, because the bell of the ball is relevant. Because, like, what the fuck does butter dog mean? We'll get to that. Butter dog. Dog with the butter. Butter dog. Dog with the butter on it. But after when I went back to put my load of laundry into the dryer, because I did 2 loads of laundry. I washed all my clothes and all my towels and, like, my bed sheets separately, because, you know, I know it's not mixing, like, I know you're not supposed to mix, like, light and dark laundry. I don't know why, because I've never had a case where I wash a white shirt and then it becomes, like, gray. I think that's only a thing in cartoons, because I remember an episode of Peppa Pig that I don't remember. I think it was Daddy Pig's shirt that he put in the washing machine, and it ended up, I think it was with, like, Peppa's shirt, and then Daddy Pig's shirt ended up being pink, and then he was like, my shirt's pink now. Yeah, and it was pink. I don't remember why that was a problem. Maybe he had to, like, have a certain dress code that, like, maybe at his work where he's like, oh, you have to wear this certain colors of shirts, and he wasn't aware to wear pink or something. I don't remember. Look, I wasn't really locked in on the episode of Peppa Pig. It's been a while. But when I got back to do my laundry, I immediately hear gagang 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 from one of the machines, and it's just like, oh, what the fuck is happening there? And it's just like, I walk in, and visibly shaking is a machine going back and forth, and it happened to be one of the 2 machines I put my stuff in, and I was like, yikes. So I had to get my stuff out. I opened the washing machine. All my stuff was absolutely drenched because it must have, like, got off the belt that it spins around on. And it wasn't, like, spinning the stuff to get out the water properly. So it was all sopping wet. So it was like, great, fuck. This is the worst day this could ever happen, because I'm supposed to get back to my dorm as soon as possible so I can do my lab report, so I can finish the lab report, so I can make the Pepper video. Because I really wanted to make this video really bad, because I needed to talk about Pepper Princess, because I came up with the idea for Pepper Princess, like, on my way back. I think it was back. It was either back from meeting up with a friend after their anatomy class, or it was back from like one of the putting my load of laundry in. Cause like, Pepper Princess. That's perfect, cause she's the belle of the ball, and that's the joke I was gonna do for the video. But when all my stuff was soaked, so it was just like, this isn't good. So I did put it in the dryer, and usually instead of for like the 40 minutes I did 60 minutes on high heat. And I put my normal laundry in for the normal time. That one was fine. But when it was spinning, there was smoke coming from the washing machine, which that's not good. I could have set off the fire alarm because the friction from the belt being off-kiltered ended up, like, rubbing stuff, and it started to, burn. So there was some actual smoke, and, like, I saw the smoke rising from the machine. That was concerning. So, and then I get back to my dorm room, and then I work on my lab report barely, but because I have to keep walking back and forth, and getting distracted, it took me a lot longer to finish the results section. So a lot less time before I can talk about Pepper Princess, which that's really inconvenient. Because I wanted to get my day done as soon as possible so I could make the video. And just by the time I started this, you could probably tell it took me fucking forever to finish that thing. Because I am not a fast writer, like I said. And you have to write, because I did all the calculations early on in the day using my brain power, where it's like, oh, I calculated the limiting reagent, the theoretical yield, the percent composition. Sorry, I thought my phone was ringing. I don't know why it did. But like all that, then I had to put all the it took forever to put the stuff in like the charts and like all of like the figure descriptions like, describing everything because I had 7 different figures, which that's kind of a lot. But just all those calculations, it's just like it's easy stuff, but it adds up time because you have to type it all in. Because you can't just like do the calculations and give the results. You have to type in every calculation because you have to show them all, which is really annoying. And that all stopped me from making the Pepper video. Because, like, all of this hurdles throughout my day. I wanted to make the Pepper video sooner, but, you know, had to do work because I had to get my work done. Because, you know, I'm really busy, like, this weekend. Because I have a tea making thing tomorrow, and then I go on a silly little adventure after, like, immediately after. A friend of mine is doing, like, a PowerPoint thing, and I'm really excited for it. And like the first they put it on their like story, the very first slide, and the first slide is all insects. And I was like, I thought it was just gonna be invertebrates, but it's insects, and I'm so excited. I can't wait to watch this presentation. But like that's what I'm doing tomorrow. So I didn't have this time to do this lab report tomorrow, and I have to make 3 presentations this weekend. So I'm gonna make the presentations in the morning, and then also I have my nerd stuff on Sunday, which I was about to mention, but I never did because okay, I was gonna mention this in the Onion video, but I got distracted by the posters on my wall and I forgot to tell the story. So the nerd thing I was talking about, I left you guys on a cliffhanger. The nerd shit I was talking about was I like to play fuck ass Dungeons and Dragons because I'm like a nerd. Yeah, I know. I suck. But no, it's just like I just like the silly little thing. I like running it a lot because I make nonsense. Like my favorite thing I did in that was I made them play Family Feud for like a night. It was there wasn't a single dice rolled. I think they just played Family Feud, and that was a blast. But enough about that. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing that on Sunday with I'm in my friend's one, but I have to do a presentation like throughout the day. So essentially, I don't have time to do this lab report, so I had to do it all today. So also that means there probably won't be a video this weekend. There might be still. Let's be real, but I wanted to do one because I know I did 3 this week. This is my 3rd. I'm going to try to keep these what's going to happen probably, this is my guess, is I'm going to do these consistently for 2 weeks, and then I'm going to get moved, and then my brain's going to get I'm going to hyperfixate on something else. And then it's just like, then this channel will probably be not videoed for like a couple months, and then you'll get another one. Because I am going to respond to comments, even though the people leaving the comments is mostly just my buddies. And like my one friend was like, oh, you could do 3 hours, so I'm gonna have to do that eventually, cause you gotta respond to the comments. How dare you? You did this to me. Stay tuned. But back to the laundry, cause I never finished that tangent. That part is 2 steps away. The laundry story is 1 step away, cause it involves the pepper. Me doing laundry is like I left off where when I went back for my dry clothes after the 45 minutes for my clothes were all dry, which is good. So I have all my clothes dry, and then but all my towels and my bed stuff, they were still damp, even though they're on high heat for an hour. I mean, that's just what happens when your stuff is soaking wet. It was like soaked. Realistically, I shouldn't have put it in the dryer, but I didn't have any other choice. I just had to put it on high heat. So I set it for 25 more minutes. And I did bring my computer that time. So instead of walking back to come back again, I did my lab report, worked on it when I was there. So that was good. But it's like the introduction section that just like it was a killer. It like drained me. It took fucking forever. And the results section. This is the longest result. I already talked about that. I don't need to provide more lip service to that. But what I need to do more lip service is to little Pepper Princess over here. She's really short and spout. She doesn't have a handle. I'm a little teacup, short and sprout. Here is my handle, here is my spout. That's how it goes, right? I don't know, it's been a while. I've been away from the kids. Not my kids. But my siblings, I mentioned them, I think. Yeah, I mentioned them in passing. I don't remember which video it was, but I did. Oh, but something else that happened that delayed me making the Pepper video later is that I have a hole for bugs. Bugs like to come inside my hole in my window, and I always get like bees and wasps, specifically a lot of yellow jackets just in my bedroom, which is like that for anybody other than me, that'd probably be like horrific. But I like insects a lot, so I always get kind of excited when there's like a new bee that comes in because I get a new friend to like look at. But this time it was a yellow jacket. It actually comedically fell from the sky and landed in front of me. So I was like, ooh! So I don't know if you all know this, but in my freezer, I have another yellow jacket. It was one I found on the ground. It was a specimen that was in perfect condition. It was already dead when I found it. But I believe it was a queen yellow jacket, because it's a lot bigger than a typical yellow jacket. And they sprayed a bunch of pesticides on our grass on campus because they hate insects and they hate me specifically, and they wanted to kill them all because they hate fun. So it ended up killing this queen of a southern yellow jacket hive. And I did what anybody would do when they find a dead queen on the ground, is I picked it up and took it home with me. And then I put it in, first I was going to rehydrate it so I can pin it. Like, I just got into pinning, because I love insects. I love them a lot, but I haven't actually, I don't have a pin collection yet. But I felt like it's finally time. Like, I'm a college student now. I'm going to research bugs. So I feel like I should start pinning stuff. So I was going to pin this yellow jacket queen. I was going to pin it with, hold on. I have this pin right here. This pin. It's meant for like sewing stuff. Not sewing. It's probably from so I found this pin on the ground like a month ago, and I liked it, and it was bent in half, so I kept it. Because I like to pick up things and keep them. I keep so many like little random stuff that I use in the future. So I was going to use that pin to like pin the queen. But then I thought, it's just like, I don't have a case to put her in. So I wanted to wait. I actually just bought a pinning kit, and it should be here it should be here on Monday. It also came with like a case. It came with pins. It came with like labels so I can label them. I think it came with like alcohol so I can make kill chambers. And because like that's the beauty of insects. Since there's so many, they're like one of the species that like they reproduce so often that for science you're able to just like kill one of them whenever you get one, and you can like put it in like a insect box and preserve it. Because that's the thing about insects. Since they're exoskeletons, they just end up not rotting for like a really long time. So you could just keep them. So, but still, like, I felt like I put my yellow jacket queen is currently in my freezer. But with that yellow jacket, I think it was also a southern yellow jacket. I haven't had really time to like expect it, to analyze it, to see what type of yellow jacket it is, because I hope it's a because I put it in a kill chamber, and I put it in my freezer, because my plan what to do is I'm gonna have the queen yellow jacket and the smaller, like the normal yellow jacket, not queen, like the scout worker jacket, wasp guy. I think no, the guys aren't. I don't think the guys are. I don't know. I think it's the gals that do the work, and the guys are just there to reproduce. They're fucking useless. But the whole gimmick is that I wanted to have them side by side. So you can see, like, oh, this one's visibly a queen because it triumphs over the other one in size. And it was just like, well, if you ended up in my room anyways, I was just like, it let me put a cup over it, and then I sealed the cup. So I'm going to pin them both. Well, first I need to rehydrate them again, because I did start hydrating the queen. But then I was like, well, instead of rehydrating it, I'm just going to freeze her, because the pinning kit's not going to be here for a week. So she's, like, in the freezer. The other one's in the freezer. So I like to have, like, it's normal to have, look, as a scientist, well, I'm an aspiring future scientist. It's normal to have stuff like that in your freezer. Look, I talked to my professor the other day, my old one for Gen Bio, who, he's like the insect guy on campus. And he was talking about how he has spiders in his freezer. And then another professor came by, and she was talking about how she has fish in her freezer, but not like fish you'd eat, like actual like fish, like full of proper fish. And how she told us a story how like there was a time when she didn't want them to rot in her house, so she took them outside and buried them. But they weren't discovered for 3 years, and I think she kind of forgot about them for a bit, or she just never went to get them. And they ended up perfectly skeletalized underground when they dug them up again, and it was really cool. So it's just a normal thing to have bugs in your freezer. Don't worry, I don't keep it in the main freezer with everybody else's food. I keep it in my little private freezer that I have reserved for bugs. But it still pertains to the bell pepper, because that's another thing that delayed me from making the video. Which, that's the perfect part about these. These tangents the tangents are allowed if they're associated to the pepper. But I should, oh yeah, since she's the belle of the ball, I should probably, you've been staring at the whole video, how I have a crown in my, like, little thingies. My crown says Butter Dog. So, I'm Butter Dog. That's me. That's me. Because I'm sure, like, you see my, like, YouTube channel name. Like, my name is Marge, short for margarine. Which, you know, the butter. I can't believe it's not. Ah! Ah! I don't know what's wrong. I'm starting to think it was actually butter. Your husband murdered 3 children. So that's the joke. I'm Butter Dog, because I got that dog in me. Because it's silly. Butter Dog. That's why the crown says that. And I made it, because there was like a little event, like a month ago, that was like, oh, we're just gonna have like fun stuff. It's for like summer birthdays, but it was like 2 months ago, and they said all birthdays welcome, because my birthday is in January, so it's just like, oh, great, that means I get to be there too, because it's awesome. And I made the crown, I got this, and then I immediately went to a lab. I wore this crown my entire lab. It was really silly. They thought it was my birthday. It wasn't. I just had the crown. Because I'm that Butter Dog. That's me, twin. That's me. So I had to be dressed up because we're at the ball. The belle of the ball. Bell Pepper. What else? I feel like I really should take a bite out of her. Like an apple. No! But I don't wanna. Because again, like I said, I'm probably gonna make her up when I make the stir-fried rice eventually. But She is really cool. I kind of wish she wasn't as short as she was, because when I imagine bell peppers in my head, I imagine them like a bit bigger. Like I don't usually see them this small. But I don't really see them use bell peppers that often in the dining hall. Because I was talking about how I have like specific memories of them using a lot of red onion. The only time I see them use peppers is not at the dining hall that's where you buy the stuff. There's another one that's 10 minutes to walk. And that's the one that they usually, because they usually have peppers there, but they don't usually have peppers here. I mean, I guess they do because they have these. But it's just really nice that they had the peppers. But I also do want to say, they did have 2 more red onions there. But those onions were so much more fucked than the one I did in the previous video. Who was in beautiful condition, beautiful shape, nice and plump and juicy and big. But the onions they had were kind of like tinier, and they weren't as like well developed, which is great. Because I'm glad I got the pepper one, not pepper, I'm glad I got the onion when I did, because I had a beautiful onion for the video. And I feel like I could have had a much better bell pepper than I have, but it's better than nothing. And I originally was going to do the video today on the tomato. I wanted, I'm not going to explain the joke I have planned for tomato, because we'll do that when I do the tomato. Because I did buy the tomato as well, and it's in the fridge downstairs. But I'm a bell pepper. I'm the Princess Pepper. She's so cool. She actually gets a voice this time, because usually they're not allowed to talk. But she can talk because she's royalty, and she has a crippling grasp on. She's part of the 1%. She does not. She's the type of person who says, "Let them eat cake." Let them eat cake. Oui. Oh, bonjour. I don't really like. I don't fuck with like government in general, but I don't really like monarchies, because it's just like, just from what I learned from history, they don't seem chill. But her monarchy, I imagine it's kind of like French, like France before the revolution, with like proper like Marie Antoinette, and where they're like, they keep all the money, they keep all of the everything. They, instead of like actually helping the people, Princess Pepper, she built a model of France, what it would look like if it was actually nice, and use the money for that instead of actually using the money to help France, or I guess her Pepper Palace, the Versailles, the Palace of Versailles, the Palace of Pepper. But she probably has a giant palace that she, cutthroat. She's evil. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. She is proper evil. She does not really give food to her peasants. She kind of like, she gives them cake, but they can't eat because they actually put like a giant, that one episode of The Simpsons where Mr. Burns blocks out the sun? That's what she did. That's actually something interesting. I don't know why, but as a kid, that was like one of the things I watched a lot, is I watched every episode of The Simpsons. But then I realized the damn thing wasn't funny anymore. Like Stewie Griffin's song. Bell peppers. Bell of the ball. Bell of the ball. I'm really tired. I probably shouldn't have recorded this, because I kind of running out of things to say, because my brain is shutting off because I'm bloody exhausted. But that's okay. We are the belle of the ball. Bell pepper. Bell pepper. Do you like how I try to make her as cute as possible? I give her kind of like the colon 3 face, because she's the belle of the ball. She's the belle of... Okay, I gotta stop saying belle of the ball. Belle of the ball. She's the... No. Stop it, Marge. Don't bell of the ball. Stop it. But it's very silly. It is a silly pepper. I wonder what... I think when I dropped her, the little spot that was weakened got worse. Because look at it now. I think it kind of cracked a bit. But I hope it... Hold on. Let it focus. I'll cover my face so it doesn't focus on me. You can't really see that well. Believe me, I'm not lying. I could be lying, but you'd never know. I do lie as much as possible. I actually haven't told the truth once ever. That's a lie. See? I lie. That was. But no, I usually try not to lie, because I got nothing to hide. No, I'm a really bad liar. Apparently I have a bad poker face. But... bell of the ball! bell of the ball! Bell pepper! I wish there was more than green, because there was only the green ones there. Because if there was more than green, I would have bought, like, a red one and a yellow one. I would have bought more. And... well, the thing is, if I bought more, I feel like if I showed more than one produce item in the video, then I'd have to add an hour. And I probably didn't have time to do 2 hours, especially in this state. Like, I am... me. I'm just burnt out. Because I mentioned my insomnia earlier. Every week, because of my condition, I don't know if it's a condition, it's not like properly... That's why I said I might have the insomnia, because it's never been... That's just my game theory. I've never been properly told, like, you have insomnia. But, every week, I eventually, like, do a crash, where my body gives out, and I sleep for hours at a time. And I think I'm reaching that crash. Because, like, I'm rapidly shutting down my system. My system is shutting down. Like, I can barely form a sentence right now, but I'm gonna keep going. Because, belle of the ball! She's the belle of the ball! I need a shower, because, again, it's a hair wash night tonight. And that means I also gotta wait for it to kind of dry before I go to bed. Because I don't want to, like, get it all, like, squished up in my sleep. And it kind of looks stupid when it does. So, I'm gonna have to figure out how to stay awake. But, she's the belle of the ball. Because, I don't know what ball the royal ball is. I remember in Luigi's Mansion, there was, like, there was a ballroom. Like, the original one, not any of the remakes. And one of the ghosts you had to catch was a ball ghost. I never had a GameCube, but... they did remake Luigi's Mansion on the 3DS, and I told you how I loved the 3DS as a kid. I need to start rating people's faces more. You know Face Raiders? That's a game on the DS. I want to bring my DS, like, whenever I go somewhere, and just, like, ask people if I can rate their face, and then they go, what? Because I asked my friend that, and he was like, no. Because it's just, like, fucking boring! Like, it's just some joint whimsy. That's the thing. I know a lot of fun people, like I was saying. Like, most of my friends are fun. But I have, like, a subgroup of friends that are, like, sometimes could just be like, why are you so boring? Where is the whimsy? I don't know. It just annoys me that everybody should be as whimsical as possible. Because a whimsical life is one that's worth living. I love peppers. Peppers are so good. I really want to... I might not be able to resist taking a bite out of the pepper, and I'm going to instantly regret it. Because I don't think I can eat food right now. Because if I eat food, I'd throw up. Because it's just like... I have, like, negative appetite nowadays now. Which is... I always have to force myself to eat. Which isn't good. Because, like, in the morning, I'm not hungry, but it's just, like, if I don't eat, it's gonna be bad for me, so I eat anyways. And then it's just, like, for dinner, I'm not hungry, I eat anyways. And it's just I'm in a constant cycle of zero appetite. But since I know ball, I know I'm supposed to eat, so I do. Even if it's not enjoyable. But it's whatever. I do whatever I can to just get calories in at this point. I don't know. But Belle of the Ball. Bell Pepper. Pepper? I hardly know her. That wasn't a good one. Ugh. You could tell. I think that I'm getting bags under my eyes as well, like especially. Cause I can tell when I've been like up for a while and I need to call it quits. Cause usually my makeup, like you could see a bit how it kind of like droops down below the eyes from my eyes like getting more puffy from it getting like, oh, I'm tired. So that's usually the sign. It's just like, okay, been up for a while. But we have 5 more minutes left. I'm surprised. I don't remember what I said for most of this. I kind of blacked out the past hour. I need to watch this video back because I don't know what was said. But I do know that we have the bell of the ball. This is my... She is the first fruit. She's not a fruit. She might be a fruit. Okay, because isn't what constitutes a fruit is that it has seeds. Because that's why tomato's a fruit. Because bell pepper, I was talking about them earlier. They have seeds. Bell pepper might... that's actually... We have Google. We didn't use this in the onion video, but we used it in the orange video. Because fuck it. Is bell pepper... I'm typing with one hand. A fruit? Yes! Botanically, it's a fruit. Which is great. And that's what I mean. Tomatoes aren't special. And there's going to be a whole dissertation in the tomato video. How I'm going to berate it how it's not special. Because, again, it's not a fruit. I mean, it is a fruit, but it's not special for being a fruit. Because even our little belle of the ball is a fruit. So that means she could have a fruit empire. And she'd be... Well, I don't know. Is she like the princess of the fruit kingdom? What is the fruit kingdom? What the fuck am I talking about? Belle of the ball. Princess Pepper! Introducing Princess Pepper! Woo! Yay! We love you, Princess Pepper! We love you! I don't know. Princess Pepper. She is so cool. She's actually more comfortable to hold. Because even though she was in the fridge, when they had her out on the display shelf, she wasn't on the fridge for that long. So, because with the time when I bought her, she was only in the fridge for a couple hours and not months. So she didn't... Also, my fridge I have in my room is a lot colder than the fridge I have downstairs. Because the fridge in my room is kind of set to be able to freeze insects in the freezer. So that I have the temperature I cranked up to the wazoo, meaning that just the internal temperature of the fridge is generally higher as well. So that's why the onion was so cold yesterday. But it is nice to hold the pepper. And what I might do instead of the rice, I might do, because I did buy a carton of eggs as well when I bought the pepper. I was thinking about drawing a little face on all of the eggs, because it was Easter soon, even though I don't really personally celebrate Easter anymore. Because, like, as a kid, I did, like, egg hunts and shit. But that's really it, because, you know, it's the Easter Bunny. The Easter Bunny comes, and then they lay the eggs, and then you get little chocolates in the eggs. My mom used to always do eggs with jelly beans. There was, like, jelly bean-shaped eggs. And I didn't want to admit this to her, but every time I got a jelly bean egg, I always hated it because she just filled up the egg with jelly beans, so the jelly beans were touching the plastic, and they weren't in like a package. So it was just raw jelly beans in an egg that's shaped like a jelly bean, which that always made me like not want to eat them because it's just like, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you have them in little bags? I don't know. What are jelly beans? They're like, oh, Actually, that does remind me of a story. I know we're almost done, but I can go a little bit over time. The reason why I didn't like peppers as a kid is that, uh, like jalapenos have like a certain smell to them. Uh, what was that? Did you see that? That was crazy. I don't know what that was. But, so, a special thing about, like, when I was a kid is that for like, my 10th birthday, I don't remember what birthday it was, but it was one of them, my mother got me, like, a master set of, like, those Bean Boozled jelly beans. Because it's, like, a game. And I didn't realize that game would be psychological and physical torture for me. Because, as I was describing before, I hate certain tastes, like textures, like that always messes with me. So having a jelly bean taste like some of the bad flavors, it was not good. Because the first one I had was like licorice or skunk spray, but the skunk spray wasn't. It didn't like actually taste bad, because I don't know why. I don't mind the skunky smell too much. Uh, but the taste actually wasn't that bad, surprisingly. I like, because you imagine it'd be repulsive, but genuinely, the black licorice flavor was worse than the skunk spray flavor. But the one that kind of like traumatized me and ruined peppers for me was the booger one. It was juicy pear or booger, and it tasted as it described, but for some reason that taste, the smell of it, it did have a similar complexion to the taste of that gummy. The smell of peppers had a similar like complexion to the jelly bean, which that kind of like ruined peppers for years for me. I dropped it, but I caught it this time. But oh yeah, there's definitely crack in this. So I might make an omelet and put the peppers in the omelet. But if I was going to do the omelet, I'm going to have to record the tomato video tomorrow morning before all the fun stuff I do. But a problem is I have to do assignments in the morning, so I won't have time to do the recording video. Blah. So I won't have time to do a pre-recorded video. So basically the omelet's not happening, and this pepper's going to be in the fridge. Hopefully it does not like get fucked up. But I went a little over. I mean, I always go a little bit over because I just want to make sure I get past the hour. But, well, I hope y'all enjoyed meeting the belle of the ball, Miss Green Bell Pepper. I think I'm going to title this video Bell Pepper, not Green Bell Pepper, because the other one was like Red Onion, and I put red in the title. But I didn't want to just say onion, because red onions are more like a different thing than other. But usually when you get bell peppers, they're more grouped in as bell peppers. So I don't, even if I get a red bell pepper, I won't be making another video about a red bell pepper. This is the bell pepper video. This is the bell pepper episode. So, yeah. I hope y'all enjoyed. I need a shower really bad. I need to wash my hair. Well, I love you all. You are all, whoever made it to the end, you are the greatest person ever. You put up with my senseless rambling for some reason. Like, are you good, dog? Well, that's all, folks. I bid you adieu. Bye! Bye-bye! Ooh, ooh. I have to put the cursor over. Stop recording.